What is going on, everyone? We're here. We're live for another stream on RK Outpost Live, the last Saturday of every month. That's how we have it set up. Is an exciting time because you don't just get to hear me talk. Most of the time when you turn into a stream, it's just me running my mouth the entire time, uninterrupted. But these streams are different because these streams I get to bring other people on. You get to hear other perspectives. And everybody you're going to hear from today is fucking awesome in their own way. And they're big supporters of mine, which is awesome. I love to do these streams because then I can help bring attention to their channels too and help them grow. And so you guys can get introduced to them and maybe follow their channel, whether it's Tim or Biggles or Sub or whoever it may be. And which is always really exciting for me to see other people, succeed on this platform. But I want to say hi to the chat real quick. As we're going to bring some people on in just a couple minutes. I see Michael Quay says, I'm ready for a legendary Ryan rant. Well, I don't get too ranty on these ones because I have so many other people here. But you never know. You might get a rant out of me with the topics we're going to talk about, especially when it gets into Star Wars. I am going to pour this. Also, this is the first stream that we've had on it. My beard looks weird today. This is the first stream we've had on this channel since the main channel hit 100K. Boom. Congrats, RK Outpost 100K. So I got my alcohol. We'll have a drink. We'll relax a little bit. We'll have a little, we'll call this a Peter Dinklage here. Since it's, pretty short glass. I think that makes sense. Put that back there. Spilled just a little bit. We've got Sonora Baptiste. We have Joe Bob Tar Heel. We have Goku Punch Through Mountains. Candy T. I see Subhuman in the chat. You guys are going to see him a little bit. Oracle of Doom says, Hail RK Nation. I also want to give a shout out to Rookie Critic. I see Rookie Critic in the chat. He was here earlier. Hopefully he's still here. Happy birthday, dude. A big happy birthday to Rook. What they do at Phantom Collective, sharing everybody's stuff, getting this whole bringing people together in a community and helping them grow is really cool. And Rookie's a really good guy. He sent me something really nice a few weeks ago as well. Just a great dude. So happy birthday to Rookie Critic. We got Bird Up for $2. Says, Hail Ryan. Cheers. Cheers. Woo. That is strong. That is strong. I see Zach Bloom. I see Nathan Sykes. I see Scourge. GT Nation. Everybody all up here. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Now, it's time to bring on the people you're really here for. Because I know you're not here for me. But yes, let's bring on our first guest. He's been on this stream several times. You know him. You love him. His channel keeps growing. We got Tim from Open Airlock Policy. What's up, brother?
What's going on? Congrats on 100K. It's a huge weekend. You got NFL championships, right? You got caravans of trucks in 2 different countries. And then you have WWE Royal Rumble. So let's go. Let's have a good weekend. And we have this stream.
We have this stream, dude. It's packed weekend. The Royal Rumble, I haven't even given a second thought about. I'm so out on.
Well, they're finally doing. So am I, really. But they're finally doing Brock versus Bobby Lashley. So I'm gonna check that out later when we're done here. So sounds interesting.
Two just massive dudes who aren't really that interesting. Right. That everyone's just kind of wanted to see them go against each other. Yeah, yep. That's a good one. So I'll have to see how that goes. But thank you for being here, Tim.
No, thank you for doing this for us. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. And of course, Steph's going to be dropping some links, throughout the stream to these guys. Everybody who's here also should be, if they have a channel or something to promote, they should be in the description. If not, we'll get that taken care of. But the next man is the hype man, who you've seen multiple times. You know him, you love him. Biggles, the hype man, Mets.
As the official hype man of RK Outpost, I just want to say that RK Outpost is retiring now that he has hit 100K. Oh, wait, hold on. Official sources says only Ryan can say when he announces his retirement. He Brett Favre'd us. I mean, Tom Brady. Shit, they're doing the same thing. If you haven't seen it, Ryan put out 3 episodes on Tom Brady on Sports Wars, so go watch those. Also, Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
What's up, man?
What's up,
Yeah,
Douglas?
it's if you guys follow sports at all, well, one, I'd recommend subscribing to Sports Wars. But yeah, I did like 3 videos on Tom Brady in an hour and a half because things got put out there about him retiring. He says that's not the case, that those reports are premature. We'll see. I think it's leaning towards him retiring at this point, but I don't know. I really don't know what the fuck's going on. But so we certainly talked about it a lot on Sports Wars today. Now, I get criticized all the time. Ryan, you don't have enough diversity. You don't have enough representation. And that's true. I don't. So we brought the man, the myth, the legend. He's back. Mexican Iron Man. What's up, Mike?
What's up, my brother?
Mike,
What's up, brothers on the panel? Everybody in the chat.
what's up?
My honor to be here. Congratulations. There's no way this cat can retire at 100K because 500K is a new bar.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. You know it's possible. Don't pull back in that chair. We all know it's possible. RK Nation. People don't even, bro, people are just hitting another level of the work that you're doing. I got a couple really interesting questions for you that I think we're going to get some hot takes tonight. It's my honor to be here. I love you guys on the panel. Love everybody that's going to pop in a second. And congrats on all you do. And man, it's so cool when I'm on your channel and I see how long I've been a member and stuff. Man, dude, I literally remember that stream where Jeremy had his arm around you and you guys were talking about like you coming on YouTube. I swear it feels like it was yesterday.
It really does feel like not that long. In some ways, it feels like I've been doing it forever. Especially like every Sunday that goes by, it's like, man, another Sunday stream, another Sunday stream. But at the same time, you know, it's only been 2.5 years, which is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Pretty fucking nuts. But thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate the hell out of you. Yeah, I think listen, 500K being the next goal. I think we're gonna go 200K. That's the next big celebration. But yeah, absolutely, man. I got big plans for sure. We got somebody else that you know you love. Usually he's on the road, but now he's home. I might have some stuff to say about truckers today too. We got Subhuman. What's up, man?
You mean to tell me I've been subscribed to you for almost 2.5 years? Damn, that's a long time.
That was a long ass time.
I know. I'm starving. Yeah, when I followed you, I think you still had about a little over 100 subscribers when I subscribed to you. So I'm one of the kind of OGs, but I am. But yep, I'm at home. I'm sitting here at the house. I'm watching Beetlejuice. I got on mute, but yeah, I am definitely love coming onto these streams and talking to you and everybody else and seeing everybody in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's very weird that you are randomly streaming press conferences of the Chicago mayor. You said you're watching Beetlejuice, right?
Yep. Well, Batman 89 was on earlier, and then now Beetlejuice is on. So I'm thinking they're doing like a Tim Burton thing going or something like that. But if Beetlejuice is on, I'm gonna watch it.
There you go. I love it. Now we also have someone else here. He brings the energy every single week. We got Heath Nation. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? For reference, as you all know, I have changed my name in honor of the NYPD officer who was shot a couple days ago. They did the funeral on Friday. And as many of you all know, I'm personal friends with a good chunk of you in the comments. I'm a pretty stoic guy, but just watching that funeral on Newsmax, you know, it was enough to shed for a grown man to shed tears. And I just want to say, Jason Rivera, if you're listening to this, rest in peace, buddy. And other than that, I'm glad to be here. Ryan, congrats on 100K.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. And yeah, that I was watching some of that footage and the sea of blue that was just walking through the streets was
nuts.
Crazy to watch.
That. Yeah, I saw that. That was insane.
It tells you how much crimes in New York City and what a shithole is.
Yeah,
you have that many police officers there.
Yeah, it's either Chicago, LA, or New York is kind of competing on who's got the most crime.
Oh yeah, all of them are kind of shitholes. So
yeah,
the way it is. And somebody else, the last person is here so far. We may have some more people dropping in soon. You never know what to expect. We have Patty. What's up, Patty?
What's up? What's going on, panel?
Hi,
What up?
Patty.
What up?
Missed
Patty
that
is
notification. again because YouTube is assholes.
That's so weird that it, like, I feel like every member thing I usually post should give, like, every channel I'm a member to, when they post member stuff, I get a notification every time.
Yeah, me too.
It's so fucking weird.
May want to try and do that on like Discord because I don't think Pat. I don't think you're on Twitter, but
Maybe he's not.
Oh no, I
real
do not
follower.
participate in Twitter.
yeah.
That says
I don't want to get cancer 10 minutes quicker every time I get on Twitter, so I'm good.
I love Twitter. I thrive there. Everybody else is always getting blocked by people. I don't actually start a lot of shit on Twitter, honestly. Like, I really don't. I fucking never quote tweet these people or whatever. I'm not an instigator on Twitter. I just fucking put my takes out there, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I am.
Except when you went after Elmo. That's not good.
Well, yeah, that bitch, obviously.
That was great.
That was funny.
That was great.
Let me tell you, funny. I've been blocked multiple times by multiple people. 2 out of 3. I think every 2 out of 3 blocks is over Latin X. You know, I'm like, okay, you're gonna block the brown people. Gonna block the brown guy? Okay, go ahead. I'm racist too.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, if I get on Twitter, and I think Tim can back me up on this, I'm gonna be like Lance Archer. Everybody dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get people saying stay off of Twitter, but they're on Google products. So come on, you're not going to escape any of it. Just use it as best you can, and just avoid the pitfalls that these tech platforms have. That's my advice, because we get benefit out of it. So
yeah, I agree. I'm able to communicate with a lot of people on Twitter that I wouldn't normally have been able to. You know, as far as like sharing your videos, I don't think there's a ton. I really don't think there's a ton of benefit to it. And when I look at my analytics, the interaction I get through Twitter is very minimal.
agreed.
But I still do think I think you should be everywhere. The irony of the people when like, oh, look, Getter, they censor too. Well, get off. People saying get off Getter while you're on Twitter. It's like,
I saw that. I saw that video Jeremy did about that.
well, and we had a different problem at Geeks and Gamers because they would not respond to a fake account.
Yeah.
You know, that was on there forever. Now, finally, when Jeremy made that video, well, I don't actually know. I think it's probably more likely that somebody who works at Getter was probably watching Friday Night Tights when Jeremy went on a rant about it, because about 10 minutes after that, someone reached out to him from Getter.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what happened.
The last 2 or 3 Friday Night Tights episodes have been so fucking funny, especially when Crazy Mare's on there. I remember she came.
That Frost was funny as hell.
I know. The first time she came on there as Frost is that good thing I was not driving. I was in the bunk. I was just dying laughing.
The first time she came on, none of us knew. I mean, Gary.
I didn't know either.
So Gary knew and Extra Girl knew. We had no idea. We had no idea she was going to pull that shtick. And it was perfect, and especially the way that Perry Chan. Perry Chan edited up into a rap song.
That Frost rap is lit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to at least try and get that on Spotify.
It's perfect. It's awesome.
That'd be
Call
funny.
me Beaver Barbie. What?
Some people say I look like Eminem mid-transition or whatever.
Oh no, I like the one she did about Extra Girl. Very beautiful Oriental.
Oh yeah.
Just stroke your chopstick. She said that I spilled out my drink, but oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, the past couple of Friday Night Tights have been nuts.
Oh yeah.
Well, you had Shadiversity on, and I still haven't got to watch that one.
Oh, Shad's awesome.
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
I
I saw that one. I saw the one with Shad. That was great.
When I saw you guys liked Shad too, I was like, oh my god, these are my people. I love them even more now.
Well,
Shad's
that's
fucking amazing.
That's one of the things that Shad is one of the channels. If you guys don't know, Shadiversity is the channel we're talking about. I think he has over 1 million subscribers. Like he's the example that literally you can make a YouTube channel about anything and be successful. Like his is talking about medieval battle shit, but most of his biggest things is when he's talking about pop culture and comparing it to how this is used in a movie or how this might be used in a movie. Or other things like, is it realistic for a longbow to be portrayed this way in this TV show? it's so intriguing and so interesting. I can't stop watching it.
It's genius.
Yeah, but that's like there's stuff out there for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can get that many subscribers, like anybody can make a YouTube channel. I think I hear a little echo. Sub, are you wearing headphones?
Yeah, I'm wearing headphones.
That's really weird because I can hear my. You guys hear me echoing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really weird.
Yeah, I even have Shad's book, Shadow of the Conqueror. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Nice.
Cool.
It's really good. It's a really good book too. And then he has him and his brother made their own version of D&D that's more role playing. So like, however you want to play the game, that's how you could be like, oh, I want a character that does this, 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 and this, and then it's all about your character that you make, and then it's way easier combat, or it's way cooler combat than like 5e Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 Pathfinder, and it's actually really cool. And I've been like reading it. It's just none of my friends want to learn the rules to play it. So Shad's fucking awesome. Just putting it out there. He's almost as awesome as Ryan. Let's put it that way.
Mexican Iron Man said something earlier about Latinx and all that bullshit, Latinx, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
like it's so like I think in a survey, like 3% of Latino people actually think that they should use that word, and it's like 10% of white liberals do too. It's like nobody. There's nobody that thinks it's okay, but they're constantly pushing that shit. And the funniest thing is it made me think about the Snow White race swap and how like Peter Dinklage is like, that's not woke enough. They need to do something about these dwarves. And now his own Dwarf Factor community is fucking roasting Peter Dinklage. And saying, what the fuck is wrong with
Hornswoggle did that earlier today.
There's so
I'm
many.
not surprised. Go ahead.
There's so many angles to this. I mean, it's kind of like, dude, like, okay, you made your way, you made your money. I mean, like making up this issue. I these Hollywood actors that make their money and then they turn all wokeified because they've got the cash in the bank and the notoriety in order to be privileged elitist assholes. You know, it just constantly blows me away. I went to school with these assholes. I went to an Ivy League type school and went to Stanford. I interacted with all these fucks. And you know, that's how they are. This is how they are. They're elitist, and Dinklage is the same. You know, I'll bet there's a time where he wouldn't talk like that before he had all these fucking roles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing with Hornswoggle. This isn't the first time he's gone after Peter Dinklage. When he was doing a shoot interview years ago with this guy, Sean Oliver, and he was listing out like, oh, which wrestlers are dicks, which ones are cool. And they threw in a couple small people, got to Peter Dinklage. He's like, yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, I remember that interview.
Yeah, and then they went to Wee Man. He's like, nah, Wee Man's cool. You know? So he has a history. So hearing that doesn't really surprise me because I saw that interview. So there's that.
Well, I hear after the whole Peter Dinklage thing, Disney was like, all right, we got to make it Snow White and the 7 large black men. And then they found out that Brazzers did it first.
Yeah,
I know. For real?
Oh, that's good.
No, that's me making a joke.
Wow. And it was so crazy. And to be honest, I don't know how much impact Peter Dinklage had on it. I think they may have just used that opportunity to come out and virtue signal and say, hey, we've been rethinking doing this anyway, kind of thing, which is just really fucking weird. But yeah, I think a lot of people in that community hate what Peter Dinklage did because you took jobs away. There's not that many dwarves out there acting, but those are 7 potential opportunities that you just took away, all because you virtue signaled.
Exactly.
And I know a couple of those small people that could do it. You know, Wee Man. We all know about Wee Man. That small person comedian. What was his name? Brad Johnson. That's
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. I never knew he was that small.
Not quite, but close, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brad Johnson would be a perfect candidate for sure.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's just so dumb. It's such a stupid thing to try to virtue signal over and have it backfire this way. I actually think Peter Dinklage is going to come out and make a statement.
Yeah.
In the next day or two. That's just my feeling on how this will probably work out.
Hashtag
we'll see.
he needs to shut the F up.
He said a couple things. I made a video about him not that long ago too, but now I don't even remember what it was about. But he said something. Oh, it's about Game of Thrones. That's what it was. He was basically like, fans just wanted a happy ending. It's like
They wanted to see pretty white people, is what it was.
Yeah, they wanted to see the pretty white people walk into the sunset. Yeah. And it's like, do you think any Game of Thrones fans wanted that?
No.
I think most people thought that everyone would die.
It was bad. It was bad enough that they were insulted with how the last season of their show went, and then you got all this shit going on. That's just adding fuel to the fire for that fan base.
Yep.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah, I wanted to see the white people walk off into the sunset. No, I wanted to see carnage. I didn't want to see everything pitch black, so I couldn't tell a dragon from a freaking night walker. It was a freaking bro. I felt like a moron, right? Because I got like an 8. I saved up last year, and that year that I got the year that came out, I saved up that year, and I got a big screen TV and all that. I was all excited. I set it up like 2 weeks before the season finale, and I'm like watching the whole thing like this.
Yeah,
I didn't even.
The Battle of Winterfell was so bad, dude.
I didn't even watch. I didn't even watch any of the Game of Thrones seasons, but I read a lot about it and all that stuff. And I heard about season 8, and everybody was talking about all the crazy things that was going on there. Everybody was like, screenshotting everything about water bottles, coffee cups, all over all the place out there. While on it, I was like, oh my god, what are these people thinking?
Seems to be a common problem. There's been some of that in Boba Fett as well.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. I've been seeing screenshots about that also. I don't watch Boba Fett either.
Yeah. Real quick, Winky Wanky Woo for 350 says, love from Scotland, you wonderful, crazy bassa. Is that like short for bastard? Is that what that is? I don't know what it is, but I appreciate it, Winky Wanky Woo. Juice Cannon 84 for $5. Kenny Baker greater than Peter Dink.
Yeah, because Kenny Baker, all he said was beep 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 beep. Wow.
Yeah, and Kenny Baker's been a lot too. I feel like any Hollywood midget ends up getting a lot of work. You know what I mean? Because I just don't think there's a ton of them, so they end up doing a lot of stuff.
Well, it's just like the original Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory when you had the. Well, you see, I think there was like 6 Oompa Loompas, and they were all midgets, and some of them were still alive.
Dude, I remember in the town where I was, well, not born but raised for the first 5 or 6 years. There was like an Oz festival they did every single year, a Wizard of Oz festival, and they would bring all of the living Munchkins. So all the little people that played the Munchkins, and they'd ride them through town in a trolley.
That is a lot of Munchkins.
Until they, basically they could all fit in a pickup truck because so many of them fucking died off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. They used to have all those guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Peter Dinklage certainly has made a fool of himself.
Oh yeah.
You brought up
here. Sorry.
What's that?
Chris Gore's here. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Oh, Chris Gore's here. Oh, cool.
Chris, what's up, Chris?
What's going on, Chris?
Chris Gore. I was just looking because the last video I posted was the stream replay of me and Chris talking about G4, and then
awesome stream.
Yeah, that was a great fucking stream. Pretty much anything Chris Gore's involved with ends up working out pretty well, which is probably why the new G4 failed, because he's not there.
That's probably why. Oh,
but,
not just Chris, but Olivia, Sarah Underwood, Morgan Webb, Kristen Holt, all of them.
A lot of people. Yeah,
a lot of people.
Garbage, and we've actually been talking about that a little. I'm sure we'll get into that more, but good to see Chris here. You made me think about something, Mike, when you mentioned how dark Game of Thrones season 8 was. I was watching clips from, I think, Boba Fett's episode 4.
Okay.
That just seemed dark as hell when him and Ming-Na Wen were trying to hit Slave One back. Not Slave One anymore, because John Favreau and Dave Filoni changed the name, but his fire spray gunship. And it looked dark as hell. I could barely see anything. I don't know if that's just because I was watching a clip of it on YouTube. Was that the way that episode was? A lot of real dark stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't as bad, but I just think, I don't know if they're sound staging, how much of it is sound staged, but it looked like a lot of it was, but it didn't have it didn't have the depth. I don't know what it was really, the episode 4 drove me nuts. But I liked it more than the first 3. The first 3 were absolute trash. 4 was okay trash. 5 was a completely different series, and a whole other thing. But the love, care, and attention has not been there throughout those first 4 episodes in terms of how they were shot and the quality. I have a new Hollywood studio client that, in fact, I'm out here in California right now, so I go back next week. But I have a new client this year that does that does all of the really great stuff that, with LED. They have an LED wall. They're actually upgrading, getting a new one. And it's weird because I've seen better stuff in their studio that I visited them at in Burbank than I just saw on, Disney Plus. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. You think with all the money these F fuckheads have at Disney, they'd be able to put out a better product, but we can get into that as you wish.
Yeah, I mean, we're fine. We can talk about that. Like, I feel like Disney Star Wars is in such a weird space right now because I feel like there's a lot of people that I've seen that, this is my opinion, if the Book of Boba Fett, if the people that were listed on the creator side were Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams, and they'd done some of the things that they've done with Book of Boba Fett, I feel like a lot of the channels that are reasonably happy about it or being patient for it, I feel like they'd be fucking hammering this show for some of the ththings they're doing to the character and to the lore and everything. But because it's Favreau attached to it, I feel like that's not the case.
Well, I will go even a step further. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to go even a step further, which that I've said this on many of Midnight's Edge shows, because I do Midnight's Edge After Dark, what struck out to me is that if you go back to Robert Rodriguez and how he came into Mandalorian, he got a thin script. It's well documented. He had a thin script. Favreau handed it to him and said, "Here, finish this thing." And he filled it out, and we got the weird Stormtrooper episode with the weird fights that was exhaustively talked about. Well, I hypothesized after the second episode, and it is clear that basically said, "Hey, bro, I just need you to get the series shot together and thrown together." And that's what's happened. Now, there's some people on YouTube that say, "Oh, Robert Rodriguez is going to save Star Wars." I was like, always had the position, maybe good luck with that idea, but probably not, because Disney's a trash company and it's hard to get anything good out of this bunch of morons. Okay. And so, because it's Robert Rodriguez, because it's Favreau, because there's so much goodwill, everybody's giving them a break. Now, where I sit as an explanation, not so much as an excuse, is that this thing's crap because it was shot pre-COVID, during COVID, post-production COVID, whatever the hell happened. But, regardless, is it as bad as The Last Jedi? Probably not. Is it an improvement? Probably. But Disney's still a trash company. And let me tell you this. I just took my entire family to Disneyland. Mom, sisters, nieces, nephews. Okay, I spent a shitload of money there. And I told my little sister that she could have anything she wanted for Christmas. And, of course, the last thing on my list was the first thing on her list. She wants to go to Disneyland. Right? Yeah. I mean, Ryan, you know me well, bro. Like can you imagine my reaction, bro? When I'm like, it's Christmas. I'm like, you could have anything you want. Where do you want to go? Where do you want? Like, will you take me into Disneyland? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And so, but there we were. I can tell you this much: this sequel trilogy ain't going anywhere anytime soon. You got the Galactic Hotel, Star Cruiser Hotel, and let me just tell you, I just rode Ride of the Resistance, and I was just at Galaxy's Edge. That shit, there's no way these motherfuckers are paying $1 to redo any of that shit. This thing is not getting cut anytime soon. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I've made a couple videos. Obviously, Jay's covering a lot on Park Hop and everything, but I made a couple videos on, on the Galactic Star Cruiser stuff. And the most recent thing is they're literally reusing uniforms for a different little Star Wars launch bay. They're reusing those uniforms for Galactic Star Cruiser. Jeez. Like, everything is about cutting cost with this.
Didn't they look like they were about to make a TikTok video in that one shot that you see online? They look like healthcare workers in the emergency room on a Saturday. That's what they look like. And it looks completely awful.
Yeah, it was really strange about it. It was really strange, and there were a lot of comments on Instagram that are like, praised our healthcare workers that I couldn't even tell if they were trolls or not. Like that's how bad it looks. That you're not sure. Like it'd be pretty reasonable to think that they were actual real healthcare workers. Yep. And yeah, you know, they're creating. We all think it's going to be a shit show, and I'm sure it is. But they're going to make money on the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. They will. And it's set in the sequel trilogy. Like it's about Resistance versus the First Order. That's the future. There's references to that through Mandalorian. There's references to that to Book of Boba Fett.
Have any of you guys been to Disneyland or Disney World?
I did.
Okay.
I've been to Disney World a couple of years ago with the Drunk and Tugs, but I never went to Galaxy's Edge.
So
wasn't planning on doing it anyway because I know how boring it was.
I walked through Galaxy's Edge one time, and it's like you wouldn't even know it was Star Wars.
But my point is that when you go on these rides, all the attractions that they have, it's everywhere. Where they're gonna like recut everything, redo everything, it's just not gonna happen. I mean, they've just got too much. They're so far into this thing, it ain't coming out. And it's
I think it's Disneyland. I think that's the one what they decided they wanted to change up the Roger Rabbit ride. Is that the one? Or is that the?
I don't know about the Roger Rabbit ride. I know that they're changing the Splash Mountain one.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I think Clownfish covered it, and I think Drunk Depot covered it also.
I think it was on Park Hopping. That's where I found out about the story because they were like, what's the name of the woman in Roger Rabbit? What is the
Jessica Rabbit?
Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, they had like to see where she was like tied up, and it was a part of like the ride, and they wanted to get rid of that altogether. That's what I heard.
They actually want to make her the main character of the story. They're trying to like change her entire character up. That's exactly.
Fuck out of here.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the highest grossing movie from the year that I was born.
Exactly. That's like my favorite movie, even though it's based on the books, even though the books are completely different than the movie, but I like the movie and the books.
Well, you're going to find that with most media sub. That's just the way it is sometimes.
I know.
Sometimes, not all the time. Like there's still content out there that honors the original material.
Well, you got to remember too, they're already getting ready to change Minnie Mouse's iconic outfit.
Oh yeah, they are.
Well, Minnie Mouse wears so many clothes, though.
I actually agree with Biggles. I feel like there's a little bit of an overreaction to that because it was just like for one specific little thing that they were doing. They're not like getting rid. They're not getting rid of her dress. Like
it was like something promotional, wasn't it? It was like a promotional ad.
It was some combination with some fashion company or something that they were doing. So,
okay.
You want to piss off the Pentecostal church, guys? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's actually true. I actually know a few friends that are in the Apostolic Pentecostal religion. Yeah, they're not going to be too happy with that either.
No, but I think they will be profitable because there's enough morons out there to pay $6,000 for a couple.
Right.
So that will happen. But someone pointed this out on my stream on yesterday. I can't remember who it was. I apologize. But have you seen the outside of the building where the Star Cruiser is? It looks like this brutalist, like Soviet architecture, just a long building. So imagine this. Let's say they run through that for several years and they milk it and they're like, gosh, we made our money back. We got to do something else. Who says that you can't convert that to like the inside of Jack Sparrow's pirate ship or something else? Because it's just a generic looking building. You could change the inside. Now there would be money involved there, but not as much. And then you could repurpose it. That's why I think they went with that generic outside and they didn't make it look like a starship on the outside. So someone said that on the stream. I can't remember who, if it was Greg or Laura, so I apologize. But good theory there. Good theory.
It was Greg. I'm pretty
Okay.
Pretty sure it was Greg.
But the whole Star Cruiser is pretty much a generic space thing. I don't even know, from the 60s.
It looks like a sci-fi, 70s sci-fi movie.
Yeah, but no disrespect to those old school sci-fi movies. Those
the ship itself looks like a phallic symbol. The
thing
front
is,
of it has like that hammerhead, it looks terrible.
You know what? It also shows you how little faith they have in what they're doing.
Exactly. Well, it's also like what Ryan and everybody else is saying, that they don't want you to spend all your time in the rooms. They want you outside exploring all day long. There's no way I'm going to be doing that all day long. I got to at least rest, especially some of those who get there from, jet lag or whatever lag they have. They want to at least get in there and at least relax for a little while. Get off their feet.
That's what happens when you overcompensate. Anything involving entertainment and you overcompensate, it's going to cost you money in the long run for sure. Regardless if you're running a amusement park or if you're running a sports stadium, you don't want to overcompensate and overdo things.
Well, another way to build on what you guys are talking about is from a tax standpoint. I do taxes for a living. Is that when these guys do this, they've done this massive deployment of cash. They can't write it off instantly. It has to be amortized, divided up over, depending on what it is, 5, 10, 15 years, 23 years. Okay. So depending on what is the improvement they've done in the hotel, they basically have to divide it up over those years. Now, what you guys are speaking to, which I think is totally on point, is the fact that they may know that they've got a money loser, but they've already got this cash in. So now they're skimping and being short. They're kind of skimping and squeezing on the operating costs like labor, payroll,
Uniforms.
labor, decorations. That's the stuff that they can write off each year, but they got to make the money fast. So they basically are going to skimp and squeeze, try to bring in the cash, and hopefully write out that that investment schedule where they have to deduct it out over like 10, 15 years.
Your marketing department sucks now.
Yeah, but it's still $6,000. Yeah, but still $6,000 a night. Come on. I mean, you didn't have to be that high, especially we're still basically maybe in the middle, probably close to the tail end of this whole pandemic shit, but.
The thing is, the price, I can actually justify the price for a 2-day all-inclusive experience.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's actually realistic, and not reasonable, right? But I think you can understand paying something like that when all the meals are included, if you're doing a bunch of activities, all this stuff. Because if you go out as a family of 4, and are just going to go around to different parks and buy food and stuff like that, it can rack up quick.
Yeah,
it can rack up really fast. The problem is, I don't see how people are going to be able to pass the time for 2 days in this hotel with the things they're doing. Also, keep in mind, you have to wear a mask the entire time you're there. This is supposed to be an all immersive experience. You are supposed to legitimately feel like you're in a galaxy far, far away, that you're in Star Wars. Well, evidently they got fucking COVID-19 there as well, because you're going to have to wear a mask always.
Bro, and let me tell you, having just come from Disneyland, outside in the parking lot, no mask. As soon as you cross that lightning lane into the ride, as soon as you get in the building, as soon as you get in line, mask on. Bro, it is a miserable experience. I come from South Carolina, which as you know, Ryan, in the South we have freedom.
Yep.
Florida, South Carolina, and other states. I hadn't seen a mask till I landed in this freaking state 4.5 weeks ago. And it is completely uncomfortable to, breathe your own nasty air in and out when you're not used to it. There's no way that this is going to be a fun experience. If you have to walk around the whole way like that.
Well, it's like me. Every single state that I go to around this crazy country, there's very little people that wear masks. The only time I see masks is the actual employees at the truck stops or shippers receivers that I go to and other places I go to. But the rest of the time, nobody's wearing a mask. They don't say nothing. Most of the places I go to, where they used to have signs that must wear mask required, they completely removed it. They even took away the stickers on the floor that says 6 feet apart, which means they're done. They're basically done with this whole pandemic shit. They're just gonna move on without them saying anything.
One of the things I thought was so funny was when we went up to Boston months ago at this point. But in one day, just in one shot, we drove from Florida all the way up the coast to Boston.
Yeah, you took I-95.
And just seeing how things changed, from state to state, and all of a sudden we get, close to the Northeast, and we walk into a gas station. They're like, "Sir, you need your mask if you're going to grab a donut." It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's so weird, seeing how different the country is.
Yeah. It's like basically the Northeast is still crazy. The West Coast is still a little crazy, but in the middle Mid-America and all that stuff, they're pretty much getting back to normal. The South, they completely stopped doing shit a long time ago. They're trying to get back to reality.
Yeah. Well, I know. I wonder if Patty, you've been impacted by the truckers in Canada at all?
Not yet, because I have not gone outside in the last couple of days. Not because of
Let me
COVID,
guess,
but
let me
because I
guess,
don't have a life.
Let me guess. It's snowing up there.
A little bit.
Oh, a little bit. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're in Canada. A lot to us means a little bit to you.
Well, I mean, we
Canada
did
doesn't
have a
exist.
snowstorm. We did have a snowstorm about a week ago, but no, it's
Yeah.
pretty clear for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if we're gonna get to the whole trucker situation, I will say this: I don't go to Canada. I mean, I got a passport. I can go up there, but if I go up there, it's gonna be during the summertime. Because if you think I'm going there during the wintertime, fuck no. But no,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen what you're doing up there, and I support them to a point. But the rest of the time, you're still getting in trouble for it, especially being on the strike. Because it's always been said, we are the bloodline of the country. If we stop for X amount of days, the whole country shuts down.
Yep.
Well, and I think they're trying to prove a point.
Exactly.
That's the thing though. If you're gonna prove it, at least make sure you're doing it. At least you know what the consequences are. Because me doing this for 6 years, and I've seen, from everything I've seen on Facebook, that places I follow in other places, but they're saying they want to do strikes. It's like, do it, and the next thing you know, they're not doing it because they think it's wrong.
Well, let me tell you guys something. Big companies are actively seeking driverless trucks because of stuff like this.
Yeah.
They've already got the.
Because, and no offense, Subhuman, but
Oh, no.
as you work in that industry, a lot of drivers are very hard to deal with. Like, very hard to deal with. They jump from company to company and stuff like that. So, I think what Subhuman's saying here is don't get yourself replaced because.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now you see.
Make your point and move on. That's kind of what they need to do in this case.
yes,
Don't take it too far.
Yeah, but they do have those automated trucks. I mean, I haven't seen them, but they are out there. But the thing is, though, I don't trust them yet because because they don't know because the roads are very, very unpredictable because you do not know what you're going to run into, and also to the fact that the first thing that I learned is besides following distance is backing. That is the most important thing you have to do when you're doing a truck driving, because you do not want to hit anything or destroy any of the freight that's in the back of that trailer, because it will cost you a lot.
Yeah.
Because I haul meat, and meat is the most expensive thing I haul. So if I make any kind of damage, that's like almost at least $200,000 to $300,000 worth of product basically damaged if they refuse it.
Yeah, I think that the plan is definitely to go to, and I hear a little echo again. It's gone now. Okay. I think the plan is definitely they don't want to have to pay drivers. They'd rather own a truck that can just go with no driver. But I think before that happens, there needs to be massive infrastructure upgrades in the country, because I don't think I don't think that I don't think the technology is there to deal with the type of stop and go traffic and the crowded traffic that you'll have in certain parts of the trips. I just don't think it's there yet. The AI, I don't think is there yet for something like a semi to be able to safely operate and to get past all the loopholes that you would have to do for that.
From what I gather, I think what it is that, if you're like open highways like interstates and all that stuff, the truck can drive itself, but they still need a driver to drive through those major cities, on the regular streets, doing all the backing. So that's basically kind of what you're starting with.
Well, basically what it is, it's the same principle as like an airplane.
Yeah.
You can have an autopilot in an airplane, but that airplane cannot land itself.
No, it
You still
cannot.
need a pilot to land the airplane.
Yeah, and also that truck probably cannot stop either, because who's going to be the ones got to fuel that truck? Me.
Yeah. Well, and I think that yeah, of course, like we saw that trucker in Colorado get sentenced to like so many years in jail after he hit and killed those people.
Yep. I think he got a lot of years.
The first time that a driverless semi truck plows through like a minivan and kills them, there's gonna be insane lawsuits, because right now they're protected a little bit. Like the companies are protected by the fact that they have drivers driving for them. So if something happens, then that's the insulation for them. Once you go automated, there's no insulation.
Well, also to the fact that truck drivers, we actually are a federal kind of thing. We work for the government. So whatever happens, it's also on the government's fault too.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's use a Star Wars example here. Remember the original Thrawn trilogy, where Thrawn didn't have enough troops and stuff, so they started piloting ATSTs by remote and stuff.
Yep.
So, once you get into the town to Sub's point, then by remote, someone can take over, because we have stuff like that now, like video technology, like where am I driving the truck and all that type of stuff. So that's a potential solution in the short term. But yeah, all I'm saying is, yes, you guys are making a great point that if you take it too far, you're going to start losing people, because when people don't have meat on their shelves, they're going to get pissed off and they're going to start blaming everyone that is to blame. So just word of advice.
So
right now it's easy for everyone to stand with Canadian truckers, and I absolutely 100% support what they're doing.
Yes.
But you're right. In the grand scheme of things, people don't care about anyone else. They care about themselves. Yeah. That's just, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah.
Yep. Canada doesn't exist.
Real quick,
neither does Australia.
That's damn true. Let me get through a couple of these super chats, and I have a couple more things I want to talk about Boba Fett related. First of all, like 300 people in this chat. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. First stream we've done in a month over here on the live channel, so that's awesome to see. JT Gunter for $6, $1 for each of your guests. Remember, Peter Dinklage is just mad because he's the last to know when it rains. Hail RK Nation!
Wow, wow,
that's a short joke right there.
Wow,
that's a short joke right there.
There you go. Thank you very much, JT. Juice Cannon for $6.16. Let's not forget the remastered rotation. I don't know what exactly that's talking about. The remastered rotation, but thank you very much, Juice Cannon. We've got Winky Wanky Woo for £5. I have underwear older than you, and it's not even my underwear. I was born in '88, so I'm 33 years old. That's old ass underwear, I will say.
Yeah,
that's old ass underwear.
Well,
Winky.
at least it's not his.
Juice Cannon for $2.22 says they hail Hydra. I don't know exactly the they you're talking about, Juice, but thank you very much. Appreciate that. There's a lot of people out there that hail Hydra in terms of the people in the media, the people in the entertainment industry. But the last episode of Book of Boba Fett, I saw so many people's reaction to it. And like basically how I'm experiencing this, because I'm done fucking watching these and reviewing it, whatever, is I wake up in the morning and I see the reaction on social media, and then I go watch some people's first reactions to it. I go watch people's breakdown videos. Like, I know that Tim, you and Greg and Raging Rhino so often kind of break down entire episodes and play them all out. And basically that's kind of the way I experience them at this point. But spoiler warning, if you care about Book of Boba Fett, the last episode, Boba Fett was not in it. It was it was entirely Mandalorian, and it was basically like a pilot or the season opener for Mandalorian. That's what it felt like to a lot of people. And I think it just further emphasizes something I've been saying for a while, which is that when they made Mandalorian, it was not creative. They took Boba Fett. They basically took what was left of a Boba Fett script for a Boba Fett movie, and they tooled around with it a little bit and, made it the Mandalorian. And when the Mandalorian is cool and when he's effective and when he's, serious and quiet, those are all things that they've taken from Boba Fett. They tried to make him exactly like Boba Fett.
But it seems to me that the Mandalorian is more serious than Boba Fett now.
That's what I'm saying, is that then that becomes a problem because they then reintroduce the character of Boba Fett. So it's not gonna, in their minds, how do you justify having two of the exact same fucking characters have their own, shows? So in an effort both to make them different and to make the Mandalorian better than Boba Fett,
that's the
they
plan.
changed the character. And so they have destroyed another George Lucas character from Star Wars. And for some reason, we're hearing the same exact things out of Tamura Morrison that we heard from Mark Hamill in regards to their characters, like he did in the lead up to The Last Jedi 4 years ago. Directors have changed, but Disney Star Wars hasn't changed. And I think it's so weird to see the conversation surrounding this.
So I've seen all of these episodes at least once. And I agree with your assessment completely. I really enjoyed this last episode, but it was a Mandalorian episode. It had nothing to do with Boba Fett, except for the insert at the end where, she's like, hey, can I call in a favor? Kind of basically type of thing, want to hire you, but he's like, I'll do it for free. The worst scene was the one scene that involved something related to Boba Fett. I feel bad for them as actors. I think they should have gotten a better script. I think they should have gotten a better team around them, and this thing needed a little more TLC, but it is what it is. I don't believe that there's any way that this Boba Fett series as a show overall is going to go out on any kind of bang that's going to matter. I don't give a shit who shows up in the final episode. This thing has been so disjointed, so poorly edited, so poorly sequenced in terms of its storytelling. I mean, literally, I don't know who's going to show up at the end with CGI, whatever, but there is nothing that's going to have me emotional. Now, does that mean I didn't enjoy episode 5? No, I really liked episode 5, but it had nothing to do with freaking this series at all. It had nothing to do with it. And frankly, like I said earlier, I'm kind of pissed and off and annoyed at Robert Rodriguez. Like, dude, I get it. Like, it's so obvious. He said in an interview, okay, right? And I'm going to say this because I'm the brown guy here, right? So this guy basically said, I want to do another Alita, so I'm gonna go help Disney out with this project. Listen, bro, let me give you some advice. You can't dance with the devil. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go help them out with their little Disney Plus series, and they're gonna let me do Alita. No, they're gonna use you, spit you out, and they're not gonna do shit with your Fox-owned property because they're not doing shit with anything else at Fox. Anyways, so Robert Rodriguez, exit stage right. You did not save Star Wars.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
In addition to destroying George Lucas's original character, they're also pissing all over Kevin Jetter's books. Like, anyone who's read the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, the whole, Boba Fett escaping from the Sarlacc pit, giving up the armor for a while to hunt down his ship that had been taken and impounded by the rebels, and getting Slave 2 instead of Slave 1. And like, the whole thing would have been better if they had just adapted those books, had Kevin come in, write a screenplay for Jon Favreau and Robert Rodriguez, and let them film those books.
100%. That's the problem right there. They don't have a really good screenwriter for these episodes.
Because they're control freaks, they're woke freaks, and they're cheap ass bastards, and they treat creative talent like shit.
Yeah,
the series makes no sense. Why? Tell me why a perfectly good, like not just perfectly good, like an incredible ship in Slave 1, renamed Fire Spray Gunship. I'll keep reiterating. It's renamed the Fire Spray Gunship by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, just to make it very perfectly clear to everyone. Those are the people that are doing this.
Why don't you just call it Firefly and name it Serenity?
Yeah. So because I just love the people that are claiming that, KK has no power. So if that's true, then you have to just blame Favreau and Filoni for all the woke shit.
Be careful, Ryan.
Which is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm frankly tired about talking about KK and all this other shit. Frankly, I am. I really am. Because whether she's there or not, I really don't give a fuck. Because what we're seeing today, it's exactly what Ryan said. Blame belongs with Rodriguez and Favreau Filoni, either because they're deliberately being moron. It's either like you're either being a moron, you're being woke, or you're executing poorly, or you're selling yourself out somehow because you live in a house of woke, which is the fucked up thing that is Disney Star Wars, because you can't be the artist you want to be, and you're selling yourself out in Star Wars in the process. Whatever of those four things it is, It's some combination of those 4 things. But
Yeah,
it's
but be
them.
careful,
It's on
Ryan.
them.
Someone may reply and put a link to the Slave One profile on the Star Wars website and say you're an idiot because they've done that to me like 10 times already.
Yeah, it's
So-
like you realize that it took these people 9 months to update, Dave Filoni's position at Star Wars.
Yep.
Like the fact that something on the Star Wars website is not updated is like the most pathetic thing I could.
It's in the
possibly
dialogue.
imagine.
It's on
Yeah, it
the
is.
packages. I mean, come on, guys. What
And
more do you
Tamara
need to
Morrison
see?
himself said it.
Yes.
Like he acknowledged that it's been renamed.
If we get good Star Wars from here on out, then maybe my attitude will change. This episode 5 was about as good as it's been for a long ass time. But these guys, I don't know what they're gonna do with 6 and 7, but they better go off on a bang, or they're gonna like lose what little support they have left. And I'll tell you this much: I've been on a shitload of live streams, a lot of places. One thing that I'm not doing is having some kind of mental masturbation talk with apologists for Disney fucking Star Wars, where they're like, "Oh, well, they did this in the plot because of this and this and this." I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to make excuses. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and have a mental masturbation discussion and be an apologist for these morons when they could do anything that, like any of you guys on the panel just said. They could just go back to the fucking books. God's frickin'.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Mhm.
There's a whole series of freaking Boba Fett comic. Just go to the comic books. Like, literally.
Yeah.
I mean,
the problem is
forget it, Disney. You don't even have to read. Just go get some comic books, moron.
the
Look at
problem
the
is
pictures.
the problem is they've already used these comic books and they've bastardized them.
Oh yeah.
Jango
right.
Fett Open Seasons is basically the Mandalorian's origin story, just flipped around a little bit.
Hey, I actually like that
they've
comic.
used and bastardized this shit. I see George with the big super chat. We're gonna hit that in just a second, but I did see this from Mercer Crate. To be fair, Django called it fire spray in the old Bounty Hunter game. No, he said these are. He said the model.
No, he
of the
didn't.
ships
That's
are-
where they named the ship in that game.
Exactly. I'm about to say
I have it in my video, the clip of it. Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
So there were, I believe, 6 or 8 on Uvu 4. That's the prison planet, Uvu 4. There were 6 or 8. I don't remember the exact number. Fire spray prototypes. Fire spray 31 type, I think, was the number associated with
31.
it.
Yep.
So Django said that in the video game because those are the models. After he steals one and they get away, he actually names it Slave One. And there's an entire reason behind that. Jango Fett was held as a prisoner for quite some time. He was a slave. That's the purpose of it. And the naming of that ship is so like it's a reminder to him to never let himself get to that point in life again. So yeah, that's the model of the ship, and that's what he says when they realize what model they are.
Well,
but
and
he names it Slave One.
Before you get to the super chats, one really quick point. Rhino pointed this out in the chat that they're focusing more on words, right? And this is my part of it, and I'll get to what he said. They're focusing on the words they're using and not what's happening. Slavery is depicted in this show. What are the Gamorreans, the Gamorreans, however you want to pronounce it, to Boba Fett? Yet they can't say the word, but they're depicting the actual activity. I mean, come on,
Boba
guys.
Fett got taken prisoner. He was a slave for the Tusken Raiders.
Yep.
Like,
That
what
too,
fucking
that
universe are we living in? This is the same dude who then explains to Ming-Na Wen, the Tuskens took me in, they saved my life. They enslaved you, you dumb cocksucker, until miraculously you slayed like this beast, and then they freed you. Like, you were a slave, bro. The show makes no fucking sense, but we got to get to this from George for $50. Thank you so much, George. Appreciate it, brother.
I love his
appreciate it.
I love his videos that he does.
George makes way better fucking videos than me.
Dude, he makes better videos than you and Jeremy.
I've made over 1,000 videos on my main channel at this point, and his first video was better than the best one I've ever done. George Molo for $50 says, "All hail RK Outpost and your amazing panel. All hail Ryan and Mexican Iron Man. Always forward." Thank you, George.
Well,
Appreciate that, buddy.
and if it's okay with George, I'm going to go ahead and speak a little bit out of turn here, which is that George, as he announced in one of his videos, is inspired. Ryan, you want to tell him? I know you know about the project.
I know about the project.
Yeah, I'm actually helping out a little bit with that project. So George is George wants to kind of send a message to Lucasfilm and to everybody and say, this isn't Boba Fett. We can do a better Boba Fett than you can.
Yep.
So George is setting up, hopefully sometime can go into production this summer at some point, a Boba Fett fan film between 20 and 25 minutes. That's what we're looking at. And I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, he said that, last week's Tuesday night main event? That's like, I think, I can't wait for that because a lot of fanfic films that are coming out, even books and all that stuff that come out, are better than what Star Wars is doing right now.
We've got stagecraft. I'm helping George with this. I'm going to assist him in the production of this. I've hooked him up with my Hollywood studio client. We're talking weekly, 2 or 3 times a week on this. George is doing a fantastic job. He's got an amazing script concept. He's going into storyboarding, and we've got a lot of amazing assets. And it's going to be awesome. And I congratulate George for doing this. This isn't going to be a cheap endeavor, but you know what? It's like you say, Ryan. If they're going to give us crap, well, then let's create our own stuff.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I think that it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to even be like involved in it at all in any way, shape, or form. So me and George talked on the phone the other day. I'm just going to kind of consult on a little bit because obviously I know a little bit about Star Wars, actual Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars. And I think it's going to be really fucking cool. So I cannot wait to move forward on this project with George and the entire team he's got. So hail George Molo.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah. And we also have Brickman Andy for Aussie $5. Hi, Ryan. Surprised you like the Pokemon games. What's your favorite generation of Pokemon? Well, thank you, Brickman Andy. If I had to pick, I suppose, like, for me, I would just pick Gen 1.
Yep.
That's the one I've played the most. I played, like, when me and my brother were young, probably like 96 or 97, whenever Pokemon released.
Yeah, about that.
I had red, he had blue. We played a lot, and then I played through that game several times, and then we got yellow. I may have played yellow more than anything else, and that was at the time where there was an adapter you could put in your Nintendo 64 that you could play Game Boy games on it.
I remember that.
I did that on yellow a lot.
That was fun.
Wait,
yeah, that was really cool.
So Super Nintendo had one where you could plug it in, but in order to do it on N64, I thought you had to have Pokemon Stadium.
Well, the attachment came with Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, I think that's probably how it was. Yeah, because you could.
I think it was also part with the Pokemon Snap when it first came out. Also,
there was a way that for Pokemon Stadium you could import your Pokemon that you had in the game to play with them.
Yeah,
which is crazy that we were doing it at that point.
So I still do that when I go to my parents' house and play my N64. You just have that pack in the back, and you put in your game, and then you can click, and when you pick, you go to your party or your boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
The way that gaming has advanced in the past 2 or 3 decades is fucking incredible.
I know. I remember all the games. I remember when I had my first Atari, and then watching how it just completely just evolved to what we have now. I think, oh my god! And a lot of younger generations never really witnessed that. I tell them, like, dude, you have no idea what I've seen in video games evolving through. What you have is probably what's going to be like for maybe next generation. But what I've seen over 30 years, maybe longer, oh my god, it's just crazy.
I think so. My dad at a garage sale bought us an NES and a Super Nintendo system when I was young, and we set it up on a TV. At that point, I think everybody here probably remembers where you had TVs that literally had knobs on the front where you clicked it through, and you had to put on a certain channel to get the cable to work from the game. And so that's where we played. We had a little corner in the basement where we hooked those up and played the fuck out of them. And then my next system was a N64. The system after that was a GameCube. And then I got a PlayStation 2. And then I didn't actually own an Xbox until maybe 360. Yeah. I've owned every
owned one.
PlayStation since PlayStation 2. I never had an original one. I had buddies that I would go over to their houses and play. Twisted Metal on PlayStation was.
Oh my god, I love Twisted Metal. That was a great game.
I had the first 4
sick.
PlayStations.
What do you own right now, Ryan? Are you a PS5 only guy, or what do you own right now, or PC? Like, what do you own?
I own the first 4.
I still have an Xbox One. It's not even hooked. I didn't even unpack my Xbox One yet, but I have my PlayStation 5. I've got my Nintendo Switch, and I play on PC from time to time.
Or you're like me, you have every platform. That's how I am. Except I don't have a Switch. Should I get one of those?
I mean,
depends on what games you like. If you want Pokemon, you get a Switch.
Yeah,
I have not played. I hate Nintendo with the exception of Pokemon. That's like my franchise.
All
you know,
right.
I don't.
Oh
I
no,
don't,
you know he loves playing Mario Kart.
I just
don't
got
know.
You know he
I love playing the N64 with my friends, playing Super Smash Brothers, and playing playing Mario Kart back in the
Shadows
day.
of the Empire,
Diddy
Rogue
Kart,
Squadron.
Yes,
I remember that.
That was great. Nowadays, I don't fucking care about anything on Nintendo, the exception being Pokemon. And now I'm fucking hooked on this new Pokemon.
God, I can't
game.
believe you're addicted to Pokemon. That's
It
so
doesn't even
weird.
look that good.
It's not.
Right?
It's Pokemon. What are you talking about? Like,
It's open world. It's an open world. It's more open world than all the original generations, from what I read on Gaming with Geeks podcast.
all right. So let me give you for those of you that have played Pokemon on Game Boy or whatever.
Mhm.
This new Pokemon game is completely fucking different than anything else. It's third person, open world. It's like you're playing Breath of the Wild or something.
Yeah.
And Pokemon are just walking around everywhere. Like you can physically see Pokemon randomly. And so the goals are a little bit different. Now to complete the Pokédex, it's not just capture Pokemon, it's like catch 25 of this Pokemon, right? Defeat 25 of this Pokemon. So it's different. And you're sneaking around. You're sneaking around in the grass to sneak up on a Pokemon so you can throw a Pokeball at them unawares and catch them. Now you're still battling and stuff, but the battling, you are a person walking around in third person view of the battle while your Pokemon are fighting another Pokemon. It's radically different than anything I've ever experienced before in a Pokemon game. But this is what I imagine if Pokemon were real, what it would be. Like, yeah, you're not walking through the tall grass to get a fucking exclamation point and go, it's not what it is, right? You can walk out and you can see them like rabbits or deer or whatever we see in real life. You just see the Pokemon out there.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the remastered Final Fantasy VII game where you can actually see the enemies instead of having a pop-up screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a difference because it's just like, it's basically a new set of how to really play Pokemon because just like, I think it was said that, the Pokemon actually attack you this time.
Yeah. Yes. The Pokemon.
It makes it more. It makes it more realistic when you're playing the game.
Yeah. Like you're not like you don't have to worry about just your Pokemon fainting. If you have a bad approach on a Pokemon and they realize it's you and you don't switch to your Pokeballs and throw your Pokemon out fast enough, they'll attack you. Like literally, I had a confusion thrown my way. I've had tackles, I've had rollouts, like all this shit. It comes your way. You have to jump and roll and dodge Pokemon attacks, or else you end up dying and you lose some of your items.
Yeah, that's what makes the game really interesting because I was actually thinking about wanting to pick up that game because some of the gameplay I was seeing is like, wow, this is actually more realistic than all the other Pokemon. It does kind of sound like, Mario or Zelda or whatever game, because now you have to worry about fending for yourself if you run out of Pokemon.
It is still turn-based combat when you get in. However, they have added an element where there's an agile and a strong type attack where if you master a move, you can have an agile attack, which will up your speed. And if you up it enough above your opponent, you can potentially have 2 turns in a row. So that's an interesting element that they have added in. Real quick, from FBI Glowboy for 5. Hey, Nibble Nuts, how many fucking channels do you have? Had no idea this Circle Jerk channel existed until just now. I have 4 channels. I have my main one that's over 100K. I have this one that was originally intended as like a live stream archive channel that has not been that for quite some time. I have RK Outpost Gaming. That's my third one, and then Patriot Outpost. So I got 4.
And then Sports Wars, if you want to include that one.
Yes, that's true.
Well, that's kind of like that's more like a side kind of thing that you have because it's part of.
That's my. So my focus when I wake up every day, my focus is my main channel and Sports Wars.
Yep,
those are my 2 focuses, and then everything else that I can get done is extra. That's the way I approach every day.
And I love Sports Wars.
Yeah.
Man. I cannot compliment you highly enough for what you have done with that channel with and for Jeremy. It literally, I got to tell you, bro, I mean this with all sincerity. I used to get up at 5:30 to watch Mike and Mike from the West Coast.
Oh, I know. I love Mike and Mike.
You know, and slowly and surely ESPN lost me, like it did all of us, I'm sure.
Yep.
Right. And I'm as much a gamer as I am a guy of fandom, sci-fi, and sports. And to see the way that you guys have got the channel with that weekly show, and now that you're expanding it, man, I cannot tell you enough. You've done a great job. Great job.
Blue-eyed Scorpio.
And I love it.
Blue-eyed Scorpio. He's crazy.
Yeah, basically. That's how I got to 100K. Yeah.
Yep. That's funny.
Trust me, you add
classic.
if you add all his channels together on subscribers, he's probably got over maybe close to 200,000, maybe if you add them all up.
No, so this channel is what 13. Yeah. Patriot Outpost is about 8,000. You know, and
maybe
then,
about 150,000 as right now.
And then gaming's at about 4,000. So yeah, 125, 130. If you include Sports Wars, which I'll take, you know, I'll claim Sports Wars is basically my own. You know,
that'd be like $250,000 right there.
Big time.
Yeah. So. That one's awesome, and you know, Sports Wars continue. I published more videos on Sports Wars this month than I did on my main channel.
Yeah, because I think you're the only one that does more Sports Wars videos than Johnny and Jeremy. Because I know Johnny Arnett.
Johnny makes incredible content.
Oh yeah,
I love what he does, but that takes effort. Mine doesn't. You know, the effort involved for me, like making videos, is paying attention and being knowledgeable on stuff. You know. Yeah. Which is, you know, that's I'm not going to say that that's not a skill or whatever. It's not an easy thing to keep track of everything that's going on in the entertainment space, in the sports space, in the gaming space, in the political space. Mm-hmm. But you know, I'm able to keep track of it fairly well. But yeah, Johnny makes incredible fucking videos, like researching and delving deep into sports, which is awesome.
He's got one. I think he's got another video for sports coming up. I think it's like I think it's talking about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, I think, or something like that, or Tom Brady, something like that. I can't remember. I know he's got one coming up
for MJ. Like, who's the GOAT of GOATs? Tom Brady.
I love that video. That video was
a good
great.
video.
That was a great video.
And of course, everybody's like, "Oh, Tom Brady's not even the GOAT in his own sport." It's like, shut up,
Jerry Rice.
That's Jerry Rice.
That's Jerry Rice.
You could say Jerry Rice, and I wouldn't necessarily have a disagreement that Jerry Rice is probably the greatest football player to ever play. However, Jerry Rice's impact is not as powerful as Tom Brady's impact.
Yeah, you can say that with Troy Aikman, John Elway, Steve Young, and all the old schools. Yeah, Montana, and all and then go all the way back to like Terry Bradshaw and Mean Joe Green, and all them.
Well, how much? When you look at the impact a quarterback has on a team today versus when Terry Bradshaw played, Terry Bradshaw probably I don't know if I've ever looked at Terry Bradshaw's stats before. I'm gonna look him up right now. I would be shocked if Terry Bradshaw threw for more than 2,500 yards. Let's look it up real quick.
Well, yeah, because Terry Bradshaw was like what, late 70s, early 80s, around that time when he was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Let's see.
Until the modern era quarterback.
But yes, I remember too. Back then, they didn't have that many rules that they do.
Right,
now.
Quarterbacks were treated like running backs, essentially. How they're hit, the plays they run. I mean, now they're prima donnas, and they're whatever talents they have truly can shine.
Dude, there was a year. Holy shit! There was a year where Terry Bradshaw threw for 3,700 yards.
Jesus, damn!
I will say those were both 16-game seasons. I was kind of
that's the thing though. Back then you got to remember about how many games they had back then.
And
But-
that's in the 1970s, and
Mhm.
the 70s was heavily defensive oriented.
Yes,
So
it was.
That in itself is an accomplishment.
The problem is, let me read you some stat lines from his 2 MVP seasons. So one of them he threw for 2,900 yards, another he threw for 3,700. One was 28 touchdowns to 20 interceptions. The other was 26 touchdowns to 25 interceptions. So they were basically throwing one for one.
Gunslinger.
Yeah, so it's a different fucking game, man.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really is.
I mean, yeah, because most of the games back then were mostly throwing games. They really use much of a running back unless needed.
Did these include? They have to include playoffs in these because they weren't playing 16-game seasons in 1978.
No.
No, I think they were.
All right. That probably like it says regular season though. Let's look at the playoffs.
But
stats.
multiply by 75%, and he still threw for 2,700 yards. You know.
Yeah, like that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Let's refresh this really quick. Make sure there's no updates here. Okay, we're good to go. I forget what we're fucking talking about. I got distracted, but we got a couple.
Is awesome.
Goats are
You're
good.
awesome, and Tom Brady, the goat, and Bradshaw is like not so good.
There you go. Yeah. So Terry Bradshaw had, I think, 3 seasons over 2,500 yards, just from what I saw there. Wandering Paladin for $5 says, "Hey Ryan, welcome to Central Florida. Thank God for global warming. Imagine how much worse tonight would be if we'd raised the temperature." Yeah. People in Florida are freaking the fuck out because it's like 40 degrees here, and they don't know what to do with themselves.
Man, that's nothing.
I know. And Jay was saying, give it a year and you'll be freezing with the rest of us. I've lived in a lot of different places throughout the last decade. I mean, I grew up in Indiana. I grew up in an area of Indiana where in the winter it got down to 0, not freezing, got down to 0. And then in the summer, 95 to 100 degrees with 100% humidity on a couple days. Okay. Like a very wide range of temperatures, which I love. I actually miss having seasons. But I've lived in South Carolina. I've lived in New York in the winter. I've lived in Virginia all the time. And I lived in Southern California for 4 years. And now I'm living in Florida. I think I'll adapt just fine. That's just me. I'm not going to be one of these fucking
that is way too cold.
Tree.
Like, I don't want to get racial, but let me just tell you, jalapenos and tomatoes does not grow in the snow. And Mexican Iron Man will not be living anywhere in the snow. That's that. Nope. Nope.
If you're living in South Carolina, it does actually snow.
There's a
well, not where I'm at. I'm on the island. I'm on Hilton Head Island.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you're on the island, you will. But
But
if you're on Midland, you will.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it ever. I lived in South Carolina. I was going to school there for the Navy for, let's see, 6, 12. I was there for probably 14 to 15 months. And I can't remember it ever snowing. It did. I think we did have an ice once and everybody freaked the fuck out. But yeah,
Well,
that was in Charleston.
Well, if you have to near like the mountain ranges and all that, then yeah, it does snow up there.
Brickman Annie for another $5. Oh fuck!
Jeez,
that came out of nowhere. It says Pokemon Legends Arceus should have been the first Pokemon game on the Switch. Let's go and Sword and Shield. Let's go and Sword and Shield feel like 3DS games. I never played Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu. I never played Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield did have you in third-person open world, but it didn't have the type of like Pokeball throwing mechanics that this one does.
Yeah, it was still the same basic gameplay as all the other Pokemon games. It was just a little bit more open world than the other ones.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm playing that on RK Outpost Gaming, and I'm playing it on Twitch if you guys want to check it out. So I'm be playing the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
Juice Cannon for 222. Ryan, who won, Darth Cognis or Darth Bane? I don't quite understand your question. If you mean Darth Zana or Darth Bane, Darth Zana won.
Yeah,
that has been confirmed. That has been confirmed by the author that even though at the end in book 3 of the Bane trilogy, after he attempts to kind of ambush her with the essence transfer, Zana has a little twitch in her hand, just like Bane did. that kind of makes you question as to who won or who didn't. And Cognis asked that question.
Was he supposed to write a Zana book after the Bane trilogy?
Whether he was supposed to or not, I don't know. He was very interested in it. But Drew Karpyshyn, he confirmed at a panel or something like that indeed Zana won. However, just like an imprint of Bane was still there. But he failed the essence transfer. His spirit no longer exists in Darth Zana, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, like that.
And that's a common question.
Well, it's just like how who shot first, Han or Guido?
Han.
Guido never fired.
We got Junkman here who says, I can't wait to check out Loveface. Sounds like a hot website. And it's true. Loveface will satisfy your wishes online. It does seem like a very appealing
Dude, what
place.
is it? Who is this? And what is this bot?
It's my best website I've ever made. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
Dude, this thing's like everywhere on every stream, like for the last 3 months. This thing.
Well, what do you expect? Biggles, he's got to advertise every now and then.
I mean,
I know. I need to build my brand.
I had one more question about Star Wars before we move on. I know we've been talking about this a while, but like, oh shit, one more super chat or 2 more super chats, then we will. Just because I forgot about
get the super chats out of the way.
Thorlax attacks for 5. Let's go Bengals tomorrow. I'm rooting for the Bengals against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Bengals and 49ers. Let's go. As a Niner fan, let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.
I'm rooting for the Rams. I'm rooting for the Rams because I'm Matthew
Ryan,
Stafford.
I'm from Cincinnati, and I'm pissed that my actual
Ryan, no, you're breaking my heart.
Matthew, I want Matthew Stafford to have success. Watch him struggle for so long. So.
Fuck him. I've had this on my keychain since longer than I've had this car. Okay.
Good job. Good job.
Brian Bresnay for 5. Still drinking Bud Ice tonight. No, I'm having some bullet bourbon actually. Han shot Greedo. That is all.
There you go.
I agree. I agree. Let's see. One more thing about just pick up Boba Fett. The idea that they brought this afro-headed stupid bitch back, who's the most cringe character that they've maybe had in Star Wars, that's constantly running her mouth and is literally talking about having sex with a Jawa.
What the hell?
They think it's funny, is all it is.
It's really weird, but the fact that Mandalorian's new ship is a Naboo starfighter makes 0 sense to me.
Oh, he can put the prisoners in the bubble compartment, when he captures someone.
Like, think of what he had on the Razor Crest with the carbonite freezing stuff, and like he needs to have storage. Like,
bro,
basically
he's gonna be rolling around in one of them old Mazda Miatas.
Mm-hmm.
For lack of a better word, basically, it's like he's got like a little Lotus Esprit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, here's the other thing too. You want to hear something funny? That I just thought about this when I watched it the second time. I'm like, he doesn't even have storage for his jetpack. Where does the jetpack go? I mean, he can't sit. The chair that he's in, he can't put the jet. I mean, where did the jetpack go? I mean, is there like, there's no glove compartment.
So there are. I will say this. I don't know about Naboo starfighters because I don't particularly know if Naboo starfighters were ever really intended to have hyperdrives or not. She said they do.
Well, they have an R2 unit.
They have hyperdrives.
They do have R2 new units, right? So we never seen them used outside of Naboo in the movies. Anything on screen.
What do you mean? What about the entrance to Attack of the Clones?
Episode 2. They arrive in them. And they're Captain of the Guard.
But this is like more fundamental. He's a bounty
You're right,
hunter.
They do. I'm sorry. They totally do. You're right.
He's a bounty hunter. How is he going to, like, if I'm your mechanic, Ryan, and I'm going to get you a custom build for a vehicle, and you come to me and say, Mike, I'm an RK as a bounty hunter. Okay, no problem. Here's the thing. That's like Subhuman coming to me and says he needs to do transport. Instead of giving him a badass truck with 2 amazing trailers, I give him a Mazda Miata.
Oh.
A Mazda Miata.
Why went on Mazda for? I want to
exactly. What are you gonna do with the Mazda Miata? You can't make money with that.
Yeah, you guys are 1,000% right. I totally forgot the opening scene in Attack of the Clones where they come there with the Naboo Royal, like I forget the model name of that ship, but the
Yeah.
one
I can't
that
remember
fake
either.
Padme's on.
That's how they saved Padme, because she was one of
Exactly.
the pilots. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought that
she's piloting a fucking N1 starfighter. But
Yep.
the idea that they use, like, how much fucking nostalgia bait can you put into one scene where give him an Naboo starfighter and have him run Beggar's Canyon and recreate Anakin's pod race scene?
You can't
Like,
do that.
What's going on with Disney Star Wars? Does this make any
It's just
sense?
a bunch of retards writing, you know.
What about getting
here's
in
the thing.
space?
They took the drugs out of Hollywood, so now they can't use their imagination anymore.
Here's the thing, right?
No more cocaine.
Yeah, no more cocaine, no more acid trips, no more drinking. They're all sober, which means no imagination to play with.
See, here's the thing with these companies like Disney and these like journalists like Kotaku and what's
Journalists,
that?
really?
Yeah, these journal. See, us people here on the this panel, we care a lot about the lore of franchises like Star Wars, not even just Star Wars, but like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, all that. We care about the lore. These people only care about the meta. That's the fucking issue.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the lore as much as all of us here on the panel do. They only care about the meta, what's big to them, and they try to piggyback off that to try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And only now are they realizing that that's backfiring on their faces. That's the issue that's going on here.
Well, exactly, because okay, I'm reading the EU. I am about to start book 7 of Legacy of the Force. And I read, I think it was what? Bloodlines? That's the one that
Yes,
had
that's episode or that's book 2 with Boba Fett. Yeah.
Okay, that was a great book. I love the story about Boba Fett and all that stuff. That's a Boba Fett I know. This Boba Fett, who is he? He's over here on a speeder saying like a bantha to these Tusken wars, these Tuskens, and I was like, this is not the Boba Fett that I know.
I think besides that point, like the like a bantha thing, it was whatever, it's cringe, but I think that the more important things to focus on are Boba Fett stayed with the Tuskens for like 4.5 years or something. Like, what the fuck? Like, and in that time, just real quick, in that time, somehow, some way, Boba Fett, who spent his entire adult life as a bounty hunter, decides that he's going to hang out with these Tuskens for 4.5 years and adopt their customs. Okay. He's not really going to dress just like them, though. Very strange that they still keep his face open when that's not the Tusken way.
He dances with them, though.
He dances with them.
I think that wasn't that on your live stream, Tim, where I think it was the lore was talking about, how they're trying to treat the Tuskens like Native Americans.
Yeah, that's
like
what, or native of something. But
something like that.
Indigenous people.
That's not their way of life. I mean, these are Tusken Raiders. Okay, they're savages. They kill people and they don't give a shit. They have no regrets of nothing.
And they're like an angry version of the Amish.
I disagree. That's pretty funny. I disagree a little bit because they are like indigenous to Tatooine, right? They've been there a long time. They have a long history, and we've seen this delved into in the expanded universe in Knights of the Old Republic. We saw it in the Kenobi book. Like, they do a lot of backstory on the Tuskens and why they behave the way that they do.
Yeah,
but they don't. What they don't do is just make you think that they're just the innocent people involved in all of this. That's not the case, right? Mm-hmm. They explain why they think that way and why they fucking hate technology and why they hate anyone who's settled there. Mm-hmm. But they don't make it seem like it's an okay thing for them to go around indiscriminately killing people and kidnapping people like Shmi and fucking raping her till she dies, probably.
Exactly.
Right?
Amen. Amen. And here's another one. Like, if they set up that he's gonna save them from this magical mystical train. I just absolutely shredded and ripped that episode hardcore because I'm like looking at this. I'm like, Okay, how about if you morons stop shooting at the train and they won't shoot back at your dumbasses?
There you go.
Problem of minority, desert people oppression solved. You don't shoot at them, and they won't sniper rifle your ass back.
Also to the fact that the Tusken Raiders do have their own territories. If you invade, they are going to basically defend themselves and attack.
Mm.
I mean, look at during the pod race during the Phantom Menace. They were shooting at the pod racers, probably because they were most likely near their territory, or they were just having a little fun.
Well, they were. I think it was because it's a known thing. It's like an annual thing they do there, so they knew it was going to happen. It's close to their territory, and they fucking hate technology.
Yeah,
like that's the bottom line. And even in the Kenobi series, there's a lot of disagreement because they basically steal a moisture vaporator, and a lot of people that's against what we believe in to use that. If we were to use that thing to survive, that's against so many things that we were taught and that we know of. So they are anti-technology in a lot of ways.
Every species of alien, they have their own backgrounds, their own religions, and all that stuff, and they still kind of coexist each other. They hate them, they like them. It doesn't matter. That's basically how the world works. We all coexist for one reason.
Junkman's right. They never attack the train, which is part of that's part of the rewriting that they're doing in this show. In every other story we've ever had of the Tusken Raiders, whether it was in A New Hope, whether it was in episode 1, whether it was in episode 2, the Tuskens are the aggressors. The Tuskens are the ones who
One
shoot
exception,
first.
Ryan. One exception.
What?
The other show on Disney Plus kind of started this with the Tusken Raiders.
Correct. Mandalorian. Correct.
Yes.
And with the exception of what Filoni and Favreau are doing, every other time we've seen the Tuskens, they are the ones who start it, for lack of a better word. Now, they're on their land, or use whatever. Yeah, there's reasons that they do that, but they're the ones that aggress. Except in this one, for no reason, the people on the train just decide to shoot the fuck out of the Tuskens because they're just so bad to the indigenous people, to make you feel worse for the Tusken Raiders. That's what I think it's for.
Yep.
It was still lame.
But let me get a couple of these, and I kind of want to. I don't know if any of you guys care about the G4 stuff. I wanted to just touch on it because I just think it's.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Star Wars.
Well, and I don't know how many of you guys used to watch G4 or anything like
Me.
that.
I did.
Yeah,
Ninja Warrior, baby.
Talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
right.
The original Ninja Warrior, not that American.
Oh man, the Japanese Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, the Japanese.
Man, that is okay. The first parts of that is funny as fuck. The way they
the Japanese
all the crazy characters
is the best.
Oh yeah, the crazy
not
characters.
That bullshit that I see on NBC. Get the fuck out of there with that
no
shit.
No American ninjas is not allowed.
There were some Americans that were on there, but they were on there. They didn't go very far, but I still enjoyed the Japanese version because it was funny. It was more competitive than what the American version had.
Pretty much.
So Belshazzar for 5. I play challenges like monotypes and Nuzlocke for Pokemon games. I prefer normal, but if they can incorporate stuff from PLA, I'll be cool with it. There you go. Thank you, Belshazzar. Commenting is dangerous for 3. If G&G ends up playing D&D, you're going to play. I don't know. I can't imagine a scenario in which we end up playing D&D and I'm not a part of it.
Ryan.
I know, Biggles.
Telling you.
I know.
I will teach you anything you need to know. I got you.
I know.
Do whatever you guys need.
Trust the Biggles.
I won't do anything for Jeremy. I'll do it for everyone else. I have to maintain my dignity, okay? Do it for everyone else, not Jeremy.
You have a reputation to protect, don't you, Biggles?
I do.
Trust the Biggles.
Cancel Jeremy.
Brian Bresnay for $10 says, so RK, any tips for someone starting out on YouTube? Like, should I release my first few videos at once or drop like one every couple days? Is Streamlabs OBS the way to go? I use Streamlabs OBS because I stream a lot, so it's very convenient for me to just have that one. And I also think it's a little more intuitive and slick, I guess, than standard OBS. But yeah, I like Streamlabs OBS. I would not like hold a bunch of videos, but I also wouldn't release them all at once. You know, if you've made videos already, you need to put them out when they're relevant. If it's something that's not news cycle based, then you can hang on to it for a little bit, maybe one every few days. You don't want to have big gaps in your content. That's the key. That doesn't mean you have to release a video every day, but if your plan is to do 3 videos a week, then, you know, release them on, you know, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday or whatever. Like, get some sort of schedule going. That's what I would advise.
Basically, just find out, just, you know, get up in the morning and just find out what's relevant that day. And if you think what was trending the most and you feel like you want to talk about it, just make a video and have at it. You can either release it that day or the next day. It just depends. Just have it scheduled to wherever you want.
There you go. So yeah, that's my advice. You can DM me or whatever if you want to know more. I saw someone ask, did G4 delete the Frost Grant? It's on their X-Play channel.
Yeah, it's on their X-Play.
If you're just looking on their
ratio.
G4 channel.
It is ratio to hell.
Pretty hard. Now, for me, and, you know, we had Chris Gore here in the chat earlier. Chris was obviously a part of G4 back in the day. Not anymore, thankfully. I used to love G4. I watched it when it was Tech TV.
Yeah, I remember
Tech
TV.
I watched X-Play. And was it Screensavers?
Yeah, Screensavers. I think Cheats.
Yeah, I watched X-Play. X-Play was my jam. That's what I really liked.
I loved X-Play.
Back on Tech TV. And then when I was maybe in middle school or something, they merged with G4. And I like when I was over at my buddy's house, like, we would just have G4 on.
I think
like,
it was
whatever it was, especially Attack of the Show. We really liked just having Attack of the Show on the background. But X-Play was always my thing from the beginning. And to see the way it failed in the first place is, you know, sad to see it slowly die off. And now to have it resurrected, I'm not even gonna lie, I was excited about it coming back. I didn't really have like super high hopes, but the idea of them bringing G4 back was very interesting to me because it's something I cared about. And the way that a lot of people found out G4 was back was when we made Frost videos. That's honestly the way a lot of people found out they were even back. And it's
how I found out about it.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I knew about G4 when it finally ended in 2014. I think one of the reasons why is because YouTube and all these creators start coming out with, you know, video gameplays. You know, you got PewDiePie, Markiplier, and all them who play video games online and actually just doing it live and showing how to play. And then they do their own reviews, and that's kind of how G4 kind of lost their way. And now you see, you know, Geeks and Gamers, Erotic, Lethal, and all these other people come out here, you're doing their own reviews, and G4 sees that, and they realize that this is where we need to be, and they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't just Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. I remember another big one, Cnanners. Like,
I never heard. Yep, I remember.
He would get like whole huge plethora of gamers to play different games like Minecraft.
His chat was on fire back in the day.
It was nuts. It was awesome.
Oh no! Not only that, but when he had a guest on Planner, the roast that they would play on there. I mean, they were shit talk all. And I would just sit back there. Oh my god, this is fucking funny, and it just reminded me of those old school lobbies, especially the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, the Halo lobbies. It brought back memories. Like, wow.
The SOCOM lobbies, the Killzone lobbies, those are the ones I remember.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
But also to that, you know, G4, I think it was said yesterday on Friday Night Tights that when G4 started back, they were watching the wrong people. They were watching they kind of about their ideas from Collider or, you know, John Campy and all that. But those channels not really relevant as much as they are. They should have stuck to what we're doing right now, actually sitting here, actually talking about it, and then okay, this is what's relevant because the others are not as relevant as they used to be. But instead, they went that other route, and it's not doing very well.
I find it fascinating that between 2000 and around when did I start? 2001 to about 2009 ish, 2010. I mean, first of all, I love the show, loved everything about it. I was running 200. We started with like garage, and we were up to about 200. The largest we ever did was 250 man in-person LAN parties. We go Friday to Sunday. Okay, so PC in-person LAN tournaments, big screens. It was an amazing experience. And what blows me away is that you take the shows in the TV channel. That's funny. John can't be a scissors for us. That's funny. So that's hilarious. But they were so well positioned, and now you have how huge gaming is, right? And these morons just completely had the right platform and the right media at the right time, but because they thought that they could retool it and do all the other things that they went and did and morphed it into this weirdo channel that ended up getting canceled. I mean, and now they're trying to come back into this. I'm like, sorry, buddies, you missed the boat. You should have maintained integrity, and you're not going to be able to just gloss in this. And I am fired up that Geeks and Gamers is kicking ass.
Okay, if G4 would have transferred from television to YouTube back in 2014, they would have been just fine for those few years until now, because till now they probably would have already gone that stupid woke area, and then they would have been done a while back too. But they came in too little, too late. They should just stay dead and let the new era of gamers and reviewers do their thing.
Yep.
Well, I think that when you look at what they're trying to do on their channel and the like kind of scripted. It's like this scripted humor. That's what it is. It's scripted humor, and it's supposed to come off authentic and whatever. That was popular in the mid 2000s. It was, whether you're talking about something like Attack of the Show, whether you're looking at like The Soup. You guys remember that show with Joel McHale?
Yeah, I remember that.
What was there was another show on E that was like so popular with the dude who just talked about random internet stories and
Tosh 0.0?
Tosh 0.0, yes.
Tosh 0.0. Yeah, Tosh 2.0.
Exactly.
Tosh 0.0 just copied E3, or not E3, equals 3.
Yeah, so like
it was exactly the same thing.
Those types of shows were definitely popular then. They're really not now, They're not popular anymore, and we people have changed the way that they enjoy consuming shit. And the way that G4 came back, they tried to. I feel like they've all structured around. It's like a Kmart version of what it was before, and they haven't even thought about evolving.
Well, also to the fact that you've seen this place. We've all seen Attack of the Show. Attack of the Show was pretty much politically incorrect. They didn't give a shit about that. Shit was on TV. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, looking at Olivia's panty pile or her shoving her mouth with hot dogs, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But I was funny. And yes, it was scripted, but the mistakes that they made during that show, they worked it in. Because that's what Chris Gore said. Each mistake they made, they would work it in to make it even more funnier. I mean, that's but that's the thing about old Kevin Pereira and Olivia Munn and all them old, even Candace Bailey. They acted. It was all an act. It was basically playing themselves, or just basically the entertainment version of themselves. That's all they were doing.
Yeah, and that's the issue with most of your media today. It's authenticity. Like when you look at someone like Olivia Munn or Morgan Webb, there was authenticity because they understood their audience. They understood, what made an audience understand, what made them laugh and all that. It's the same thing with ESPN when you had personalities like Chris Berman, whose like personality and aura just like captivate an audience. They're not trying to be someone else. They're not, they're being themselves. That's the entertaining aspect. unlike this Frosk piece of shit who's trying to
Foreskin
benefit.
is what Lethal calls her.
What is it?
Lethal calls her foreskin.
Yeah, foreskin.
That's a good one. But to my point, it's like they're appealing to the lowest denominator as a means of trying to get their own particular audience, because they only see themselves in this small bubble where they're not even seeing the wider picture. The gaming industry is a pretty wide picture, and
Yes.
you need to encompass that if you're trying to be an entertainer.
But also to the fact that, okay, we all know what happened when Ryan and Jeremy and all them were in their chat and they got deleted. It's not because of this. It's because they know who these people are. They consider Geeks and Gamers, Lethal Light, and all of them competition. This is all about competition to them. They want to be G4 top tier. They want to be the main gaming channel to outbeat Geeks and Gamers and all these other gaming channels. But with the shit that you're doing right now, you're not competing. You're just here for us to make memes and jokes and watching Chris and Mary play Frost, which is just fucking funny.
And in addition to them being competitive, I'm going to throw two other things that absolutely triggered the shit out of them. The big win, congratulations, Arcade, for being on like the Daily Wire and having that video clip, drives them absolutely shit-ass nuts.
Yep.
Awesome. And then there's another thing, which is that all of these Hollywood elitist types in the media, they look down on YouTube. They look at it as a garbage platform. It's like we're the plebs or it's like we're like the commoners. Meanwhile, they want our money, they want our fandom, and they want us to lick and kiss their ass. But guess what? We don't, because YouTube, for all of its problems, like Ryan was saying at the beginning of the show, it's where so many of us meet, congregate, and actually fight this war against themselves. Against these people, and it drives them nuts that they have to compete with something that they see as below them, something that's unscripted. But you know what Ryan and Jeremy and what we're doing right now, even just the 6 or 7 of us that are here, we have integrity. We're genuine. We're like we're not scripting anything. We're all and each one of you guys has amazingly genuine experiences, whether it's gaming, fandom, lore, books, novels, comics, the list goes on. The truth of the matter, what really drives them nuts, I think, is they could not compete with any one of you guys on this panel tonight about anything that has any kind of integrity or history or accuracy about true fandom.
And it goes back to my point about authenticity, right? Ryan is authentic in his own way. Biggles, the hype man himself, he's authentic in his own way. Mexican Iron Man, you're authentic in your own way. So
I'm just a big piece of shit, okay?
There are many people that think that's pretty fucking authentic. I'm a piece of shit, guys. Subscribe, you fucking idiots.
And that's also another thing, though, too. You see, they attack us, and all we do is just laugh at us because we have our own sense of humor. But we try to attack them. What happens? They play the fucking victim and then try to cancel us. It's like, you just attacked me, and I found it funny, but I can't attack you. What is wrong with you?
It's like, I feel like all these people, like this Frost person, or all these woke people that are getting into gaming on like Screen Rants or Kotaku, writing these articles, or any of these people doing like these binary words and shit, they never got attention in life. They never got attention. Like they're mad because their parents beat the shit out of them for being a bad little fucker. No person in school wanted to fuck them. So they have to, not only do they have to take their anger out on us, they have to make articles about this shit just so that they could get attention. They're attention-seeking idiots who, in the words of my own dad, couldn't find their own ass with the 2 hands God gave them. And we should just stop giving them attention and stop giving them ways to give other people of that nature attention.
It's just like the idiots on Twitter. Half of the motherfuckers on there are pretty much fake.
They're 16-year-olds.
Hold on, Biggles. Let me get this shit out because I know we ain't got a whole lot of time. But here's the thing, though. When there's something relevant going on Twitter, say like Frost drops something and then a bunch of clicks and then all of our comments come in. But here's the thing, though. All these people just want to say they said something. They'll see something, like it, comment on it, and then move on, and not even give a care if they agree or not. That's all they do. They don't give a care. All they just want to do is they just want to have their word out, and that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, I think that there's a comment here from here. Not my fault. I don't even think they're trying to compete with G&G. G4 is trying to compete with Skill Up and Jim Sterling. I actually.
Wow.
Skill Up's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Actually, I watch every video Skill Up posts. Jim Sterling. I hate Jim Sterling for a lot of reasons, but I don't think they're really trying to compete with any of us, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they have not approached this as YouTube or as Twitch.
Yeah,
The entire reason this is happening is because the people who are investing money in this, they want to use G4 as essentially a launching pad for this big esports thing they're doing. They've built an esports stadium at like the G4 complex. That's what they want to do. So I think one of the problems is they're not treating what they're doing on YouTube like YouTube. They're treating it like it's a cable show. And although it is being broadcast on like channel 1857 of specifically Comcast cable, no one's watching it. And if you're going to relaunch it, do so much stuff on YouTube and Twitch, you can't treat it like it's cable news, because there's a reason people have cutting the cord from cable. There's a reason they're not watching it anymore. There's a reason they're going to YouTube. It's not just because of the platform, it's because of the format. And I don't think G4 or the people that are making these decisions really understand that.
Yeah, I don't even think that any of those people that are on there have a YouTube channel, so they probably don't. I mean, I know they probably have Twitch channel. I mean, I know Frost does, but Twitch and YouTube are pretty much almost the same, but completely different in all sorts of ways.
And imagine like what you were saying, Ryan, like them trying to turn gaming into like this big like sports like channel and all that. That's not going to fly with any community.
No.
You try doing that in the Smash community. You try doing that in the fighting game community. Dota, League of Legends, whatever, Call of Duty. They will eat your fucking ass alive. I've seen how those communities act. They will chew you out and they will sip your bones through a straw. It's not worth it.
That's the thing. If they're trying to get all these people from all these communities onto esports, do you really think this is going to be, friendly, kid friendly? No. Do you know what's going to happen? No, they're going to be trash talking. They're going to be talking about your fucking mother, your father, or like, I'm going to fuck your father just to have a child to love you. That's just
basically it.
Yeah, they're going to trash.
That was a chick who said that.
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to fuck your father just so he has a kid.
I'm going to fuck your father so he has a child who he actually likes, or something like that.
Oh, I know. If you actually think you're going to have almost a kid-friendly competition on esports, no, you're not. You will probably have to pre-record. You'll have to pre-record all of those games and like 95% of the time you have to bleep everything out.
Hell, have you seen some of these iRacing broadcasts? These motherfuckers don't give a shit. They will ream your ass and then sell the evidence on eBay and not give a shit.
Imagine this, because this is Comcast. You actually think that this is going to be YouTube? No, they're going to be putting this on TV. That's not a good idea, especially if you're going to be going to these lobbies.
Let me get through these, and then we're closing on 2 hours already, guys. So I'm gonna let everybody plug their channels or whatever you're doing.
Fast.
I know, it fucking flew by.
That's because of conversation. I have great conversations here.
Richard Curtis for 20 pounds. I'm too drunk to write anything profound or relevant. Just know that I respect the fuck out of you. Keep being you. Those that don't come around can fuck off. Thank you, Richard Curtis.
And that's second person plural. He's talking about all of us.
There you go. Thank you very much, Richard. And then for $5, we got Brian. Says, thanks so much for the advice. We'll do Arcane. Thanks, man. Appreciate you and your content, my guy. No problem, brother. Now, let me give the opportunity to these fine gentlemen to talk a little bit about themselves and what they do. Tim, what do you do? Where can people find you? And what do you have going on?
Yeah, so Steph has so graciously been putting our links out there for the entire stream. I'm closing in on 1,500 subs. Let's hope we can get that done. My goal was the end of this month, so I have about maybe 25 away. Maybe that'll happen. Talk a lot about Star Wars and different stuff. Like we do a little bit of politics, we do Star Trek, we run the gamut. And I want to go ahead and recommend watching my live stream from yesterday, a rare day stream because I was on a vacation day.
Yeah, that
so
was
there's
rare.
there's some drama going on with Wikipedia, starting shit with people like Matt Martin. I think Ryan was on a stream. So we kind of dove into that, and we'll see how that develops and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to start doing a little bit something different. So I'm not really going to reveal it right now, but start watching the channel and you'll kind of see a pattern over the next couple of months. So definitely make sure you're subbed up. Shorts every weekend, sometimes during the week. And then my long form videos, I try to get at least one out a week. And it's not just like, oh, it's the news, because people like Ryan are good at doing that and really good at doing it. So I find other ways to analyze what's going on in pop culture. So that's what I do. Appreciate a sub, and I guess we'll see you guys in about a month.
Hell
like
yeah.
Like the shirt, by the way, Tim.
Oh, the Baroness, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, it's a great shirt.
Anastasia.
That's a great shirt.
Yep.
That's awesome.
But G.I. Joe, I'm going to like anything G.I. Joe. Especially the original.
So please do sub to Tim. He does awesome stuff out there, especially talking about comparing Disney Star Wars to what we should have had. Biggles, the hype man Biggles. What do you got going on? Where can people find you?
Hi, I'm Biggles. I am the hype man. You can find me on Twitch now. I added another stream, so now it's Wednesday, which is D&D. Thursday, which will be Attack on Titan 2. Friday will be Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels. And then Saturday and Sunday will be multiplayer games that I play with my chat. I try to upload all of the D&D streams onto my YouTube channel now. People want me to do like reviews for games that I play. So I might do like a 2-minute review series, because anything more than 2 minutes, I will feel confused and I have to do way more editing than I want to do. And I don't like doing long reviews. I like to say, I like this and I don't like that, and that's it. And I'll be like, this is why it sucks. So I like doing it very quickly. That's about it that I can think of. Yeah, I see more than 2 minutes. I get confused.
Hey, Biggles, you want to repeat that, because I kind of got lost. You were talking too fast. I'm kidding.
Wednesday through Sunday, twitch.tv/Biggles_Mets. Every other day, check on YouTube, and I'll probably have something posted, hopefully, if I go edit anything to get off of Attack on Titan 2, which I got 3 weeks ago, and I have over 130 hours on the gameplay. So.
And this is why I consider Biggles a really good friend.
We've also got Heath Nation, brother. Where can people find you? What do you do?
So you guys can find me on YouTube at Heath Nation 2465. I upload a plethora of content. I am on a gaming craze right now. I still have a bunch of footage from the last chapter of Fortnite that I need to upload to my channel. Before I went on stream, I was saving a video, came across an arcade, me and a buddy. We found the Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet. We played a couple rounds. I do want to upload that video sometime this weekend. It's been a really rough few weeks. As you can tell, I've had to mute myself a couple times on stream because I came down with the Chinese flu this week, and I've been coughing my ass off. So there's all that. And other than that, I hope to get some Yu-Gi-Oh! Content for the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Biggles, me and you. Red Eyes versus Six Samurai. We need to do it sometime.
Sure.
But mine does, 1v1.
Mine does not have the card in the game that I need to run my deck, so I will lose 90% of the time. But I am down, sir. I am down.
Yeah, you got to do it.
A 1v1. Heath and Biggles.
I don't care. Six Samurai, Elemental Heroes, it does not matter. And Timp, you were talking about my hair looking like Kenny Omega. It's funny you say that because I am wearing my Kenny Omega shirt. So
Nice.
good night
Cool.
and goodbye.
Awesome, bro. Subhuman. Tell us where people can find you and what they can expect.
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. It's under Subhuman84. I will start making videos here pretty soon. They're not gonna be, like Brian or Biggles. They'll probably just be on my phone because of the job I do. But yeah, and I do live streams every now and then. I'll be going back to work tomorrow, so kind of keep an eye out for maybe a quick little video later on, because all these videos are probably gonna be real short. Nothing extravaganza. It's just gonna be me and a thought. It's in my mind, and I'll just record on my phone and just put them.
You're gonna have a thought on your stream? I'm
Yeah,
Interesting.
okay. Look. Listen. I'm already surrounded by thoughts as it is, from Brian to Biggles to you to Patty down there to Heath. Okay, so we're all thoughts.
I'm a big thought.
Yeah, we all know that you're the biggest thought we have here. All right, but no, just to keep an eye on, that I'm actually trying to work my way up to 300 subscribers. So hopefully it's gonna be a good year.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah, just get it out there. That's my advice to everybody. Get your shit out there. Don't worry about the perfect setup. Don't worry about the perfect mic, all that. Just get your content out.
Basically, it's what Jeremy said. It said just if you want to start, you just turn on the camera and talk.
Yep.
Basically what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna whatever is on my mind, I'm just gonna let it out and see what everybody thinks of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mexican Iron Man, Mike, what do you have to plug, my friend?
Well, I guess probably the thing that's most relevant is that I work a lot with Andre and Tom over at Midnight's Edge After Dark, and then with Paulie Midnight's Edge Espanol. So when I'm not doing all that stuff, I am basically, on different streams wherever I get invited, and I love to be a huge supporter of all these channels, and it's my honor to be on this stream. This is I haven't been able to make a lot of these, but I love being with this group of guys right here on this Patreon. And Ryan, you're doing a great job, and thanks for all you do for all of us.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate the hell out of all you guys. So,
and listen, anytime you get any crap, you send in the Mexican in as defensive shield, bro. Send me and my taco truck will shield RK Nation from any attack.
I'm gonna lob my diversity grenade in there. So that's how it'll work. Pull the pin and let him go. So thank you, brother. And then we got Patty. Patty, I don't think you have anything to plug, do you?
Not really. Just great to be here as usual. Great to have you on this channel to keep our voices out there and being heard.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate all these guys. I see a lot of the responses in the chat. We just got a super chat from Richard Curtis. Definitely going to check these guys out. Awesome chat. Thanks for the insights and inspiration. So hell yeah, Richard. And that's what I want. I want, if you guys, like what I do and you watch the channel and you've liked what any of these guys said, go check out their channels too, because they got a lot of good things to say as well. It's one of the cool things about doing these streams. And one of the reasons I want to leave it over here so I can leave these streams public so they could get thousands of views instead of, just that instantaneous stuff I do on my channel where I then unlist them, because I just don't leave streams public on my channel. And I just didn't feel that was right for these guys because these are just good conversations. But thank you all. And yeah, Biggles, you can post the link too. I know Steph and Mara are doing their Saturday night streams that they do talk nerdy to me or talk nerdy to us. They just
went live.
And they just went live. So you guys can definitely head over there if you want to continue the nerdy talk. And instead of watching a sausage fest, you can watch two chicks talk. So that might be far preferable. You get the thoughts that Subhuman was talking about. So maybe
to say this, they're actually better than Frost.
Maybe they won't be offended if you head over there, you turn on the stream, and you just put it on mute. You just
and just to let you know, they are easy on the eyes. So
sometimes you can convince Mara to stand up and go like this. So,
depending on what she's wearing.
Yeah, if you try hard enough,
it'll happen. If you compliment her enough, it'll probably work.
If you send her a decent super chat.
That's right. Those things will usually get the drinks, compliments, and money. A combination of those will usually do the trick. But Guys, thank you for this. This is awesome. Appreciate all these people on the panel. Appreciate all you guys
you.
in chat. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be here same time last Saturday of next month. That's when we do these. So for now, goodbye. We'll talk to you later.
Later, everybody.